Um, just really grateful that I got to have the year one with these amazing 14 players that I got to coach at a great school, and that's the main thing I just want to be able to reiterate is how grateful I am to coach these guys. And this game was tough. You look at our team. I thought we really fought. We at some points we just kind of ran out of gas. You look at the numbers, giving up 21 offensive rebounds and shooting not very good from the line, 11 for 20 from the free throw line. Those are two stats that you could look at fatigue. And um, I think it's one of those games where we played a really good team and just didn't have enough gas in the tank to go finish out that game.
All right, go ahead.
Ethan, either you or LeJuan could answer this, but just kind of from your guys' eyes on the floor, what was going on with the offensive glass where it just seemed every ball that came off the rim ended up in San Francisco's arms?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like what Coach said. I think they had a few where they took the shot themselves and it came straight back to them. And then we had a few where they kind of bounced around the rim and weren't able to, get two hands in it and secure it. I mean, that was it really. Didn't get the rebound.
Obviously, probably don't have an answer concrete for this yet, but Ethan, for you, how much are you kind of hoping and maybe even trying to encourage the coaching staff and the athletic department a little bit, try and play in a postseason tournament, keep your college career going a couple more games?
I mean, yeah, I would love to. I know Coach mentioned it. I don't really know much about it, but kind of just trying to process, the game today, and then we can go forward from there with other tournaments and stuff like that.
Well, one, you guys cut it from 11 down to 1 or 2, I mean, several times in the second half. One, like what was going right for you guys in those stretches? And then how did they end up, creating more separation after that?
Yeah, like Ethan said, I would just say we got gassed, but just momentum plays, Nate pushing the tempo and Ethan making big plays. I think that was good for us to get back in the game. Obviously, we didn't pull it through, but yeah, that's how we fought back.
And how much have you thought about your future here at WSU and what that might look like for you?
I haven't thought about it yet, but I'm a Coug for sure.
Any other questions for the student athletes? Go ahead.
LeJuan, you've taken a big step, really been a Swiss Army knife all around for this team this year. How do you foresee your development in the future in areas that you're ready to attack to become even better?
Oh, wait, I didn't hear the question.
I got you. You've been a Swiss Army knife for this team this year. And when you look at your development in the future, what areas are you looking to attack to become even more of a star player?
Just consistency, I would say. Turnovers, I have to get better at that. Consistently being a leader, being the smartest guy on the floor, and then obviously shooting the ball. Just those three things for me, I think, would make me a way better player.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, guys. Oh, go ahead. Oh, sorry. I can see you back there. Go ahead.
Ethan, obviously not knowing with other tournaments and stuff, but if this is it for you, just what are your emotions around your college career as a whole and just what a ride it's been for you?
Yeah, it's been crazy. Me and Coach Riley kind of shared a moment like 5 minutes ago, kind of just taking it all in. He just said, thanks for putting up with me, especially as a first-year head coach. And, we kind of seen it all together in terms of college basketball. And yeah, just grateful to be able to play 4 years, stay healthy, be able to work. I feel like I put in a lot of work over 4 years, and I think this year really kind of, I was able to put it on show. And yeah, just kind of it went by really quick, and I think that's something I always try and tell the younger guys, because when I was a young guy, all the older guys would say that to me. But yeah, it goes by really quickly, and I think just taking every opportunity you can and just working your hardest, and things will fall into place.
LeJuan, just following up with what you just said, that was a pretty resounding statement of "I'm a Coug." Can you just kind of elaborate on what makes you want to stay in Pullman and just kind of the loyalty maybe you're expressing with that statement?
I mean, yeah, I'm just loyal to the guys and the guys that want to be here. Coach Riley, obviously me coming from Eastern, I think I'm always going to be with Coach Riley for the rest of my career.
Okay. We gotta process this game, and it's a tough question for the kid. We love each other.
Any other questions? Okay, thanks, guys. Keep coach for a few minutes for a few questions.
Say my name tag.
Go for it. Yeah, please do.
Remember really.
All right, go ahead.
Coach, just kind of your thoughts on the rebounding we just kind of talked about, and I think they rebounded 51% of their misses, and it seemed that it came at some pretty crucial times too.
That's spot on. I mean, when you look at the game, like the rebounding is the stat that stands out. Obviously, the free throws, we go 80% and take away a couple offensive rebounds is a different ball game. It's been an Achilles heel for us all year. Like when you look at our numbers, we were dead last in the conference in defensive rebound percentage and turnover percentage. So those are two areas that really hurt us this season, and the rebounding hurt us this last game. So I got to get better at coaching it. That's something that we need to improve on going forward. And the possession game is a huge deal. We got to get better at that.
Just to kind of elaborate on the question I asked Ethan about the postseason tournament. I mean, is that something that's on the table for you guys and that you'd consider if there's an opportunity?
Absolutely. Like I think it's an honor to be able, if whatever happens with the tournaments to be able to keep playing basketball. And like that's what I want my team to be built on. Like I think you see a lot of these programs that don't want to go to different deals or don't want to play hoops, and like we get to stay with a bunch of people that we love. We get to play another game and fight for another championship. Like that's the kind of program that we want to build, and I think our guys are totally bought into that. Like they would be playing on a random Sunday at the park or at some open gym. Like let's go do it together and do it on a stage.
Isaiah goes scoreless tonight for the first time all season, maybe the first time in his career. I'm not sure about last year in terms of his playing time, but I'm just wondering kind of what you saw out of him tonight, and just kind of what our thoughts on his play.
It was a tough offensive game for him, and I think where Isaiah has grown incredibly this year is he's been able to affect the game in different ways. Like for me to walk in this summer, and to see how good of a defender he's become. He's become a much better playmaker throughout the season as the season's gone on. Like that first half yesterday, had 3 assists, and unfortunately the ball wasn't falling. And he's just a great human being. He's a great person. He had a tough week. His family's he's been with his family a lot, and I just feel for him. And it wasn't his best offensive game, but he gave us a lot of fight, and he played winning basketball.
I'm wondering, like, them not having Marcus Williams, at least for me, kind of reminded me of you guys with Pacific, Ralph going out early on, and that, allows Washington to, have the ball in his hands more. Did you see any of those problems, come up tonight where, one ball handler goes out and that kind of frees up one guy to, have the ball in his hands more?
Well, it freed up Ryan Beasley, that's for sure. I mean, dude went for 29, was hitting fadeaway threes, and had a hell of a game. I don't know if that is because Williams wasn't there, but he certainly stepped up and made some big plays, especially that second half. And probably not something that we had accounted for and scouted as well as we should have. But they're a really good team. They're a super talented team. They play together. They have some really, really good guard play, and defensively they're intense. And so, just going to tip my hat to those guys too.
David, you've raved about being in the fire with Ethan and kind of the chance he took on you. And there's always like teaching moments when it comes from coach to player and stuff on the court. But what has Ethan taught you over the course of these years?
Oh, Ethan's a mature kid. Like he came in and really since day one, has kind of been a leader in our program. And for me to have that as a first year head coach and a first time head coach these 4 years with him, he's helped me every step of the way. And he's one of the more positive and grateful people I've ever been around. And you can see that with the way he is with his teammates. You guys could see that here in his press conference. He would tell me his sophomore year, he told me in the summers, in the fall, he would walk in the bathroom of the locker room and look in the mirror at himself and just tell himself he could get through another day because it was hard. His freshman year, he was going through against some good players. And then this year, I'd watch him walk in every practice, especially this last month, and he would kind of walk in the gym, take a deep breath, look around, and he was just really appreciating every single day he had with us. And I just think that's such an amazing thing for a person to have, and just, it carried forward with our team, and just appreciate being able to coach him for 4 years.
All right, we have one question online. Oh, you got a question here?
Yeah, one more.
Go for it. Then we'll get to the question online.
Okay. I don't know how much time you've had for like reflection this season, but as you look back at your first season here, did anything take you by surprise, or do in good or bad way?
There's a lot of surprises. It's my first time coaching at a new place. I've been at Eastern Washington my whole career, and um, you get used to a few things. And for us to come over as a staff, and we brought a few of our guys over, and that continuity was nice. But like, there's a lot of new things for everybody. Whether it's a new conference, a new team. I was looking at Ken Palm this morning. I think we were 330 or something like that in the country in continuity from last season. Um, and so you look at all that, a bunch of guys that are trying to do this for the first time, a head coach that's not sure what he's doing all the way sometimes. And for us to go with 19 wins and compete like we did and have the season that we had, like when you look at the whole thing on paper, I think these guys got a lot to be proud of. Now, obviously, we need to get better. The program needs to take another step. I need to take another step as a coach. Our staff needs to get better. Our players need to get better because this is not where we want to end up. But I do think there's a ton to be proud of, especially for where we were, at this time, I mean, maybe a couple weeks from now at this time last year.
Seemed to, as you were going through the handshake line, you and Coach Gerlison had kind of an elongated exchange conversation. What were you guys just kind of talking about? What was kind of the basis of that?
I think that we both appreciate each other as competitors. Like it's an emotional game and like there's been competitiveness the first two times we played, and we both just kind of expressed how much we appreciate that it's just about competing, and I think he runs a good program, and that's basically it.
And then you kind of said something as soon as LeJuan finished his comment a couple minutes ago, but just, for LeJuan to come out and say something that kind of, make that kind of proclamation, what does that kind of say about him and maybe kind of what you value in LeJuan and his loyalty to you as he kind of expressed?
I just think it's a really emotional time, and I want these guys to be able to appreciate this team and their teammates. LeJuan's a very special person, and he's showed a ton of loyalty to me to be able to come from Eastern Washington, where he had a lot of opportunities to go different places for more money last year. Ended up coming to Washington State. He's grown so much as a player to where he was a redshirt his first year at Eastern, and now he's putting up triple doubles in the WCC, getting legitimate calls about him as an NBA player. And it's just really special to see someone that cares this much, that's this great of a person. I mean, he's coming over to my house all the time just to hang out. Like he's more than just a really good basketball player, and I appreciate him. I appreciate what this team has done, and he's been a big part of that.
All right, we have one question online. Go ahead, Sam.
Coach, I know this one is still fresh, but when you look towards the future of this program, and the challenges that the transfer portal may pose, you were able to bring 4 guys plus your staff with you from Cheney to Pullman. But what does the next step of this program look like, both in terms of continuity and just what is the next step that this program needs to take?
Well, first of all, we got to see what this spring brings. Like this college basketball world is crazy now. These last few years in the spring, you never know what's going to happen. And so we got to get our roster set. When I look at our team, like if we fix 2 areas, and if I can just coach 2 areas better, like we get better at rebounding, we get better with our turnovers. We're one of the top teams in this league, and I think we really prided ourselves on development as a staff. Yes, we'll recruit new players and fill in holes, but like I just see a ton of guys that can get better, that have a super high ceiling, that work the right way, and we're gonna have some guys that take a jump next year. And really, just all I know is to give them some rest and let's get in the gym and work hard and go compete to get better next year.
Okay. Any other questions in here? Okay. Last one.
Dane ends up missing most of the game with whatever injury he had. Do you know like what the injury was and kind of what his future looks like?
He got popped pretty hard in the head, and I don't know if it's a concussion or not, but like his eyes are all swollen and stuff. So he got elbowed pretty hard in the head. And it was just like a bang bang play. I watched it on film. It was just like a guy trying to get loose, and it wasn't anything crazy. But he got hit in the head, and it's just an unfortunate thing. And he's another guy, man, that he's just what college basketball is all about. Like he works his tail off. He's changed his body as a basketball player. He's become more skilled. He's become a better basketball player. He's getting a computer science degree. He has more friends than outside the basketball program than anyone I've ever coached. Just a great person and really taking advantage of this experience.
Okay, thanks, coach.
Thank you. Go Cougs.